This is Angel Orsini.
This is the Human Hand Grenade, Danny Only.
This is Dirty Dutch Mantel.
This is Liz Savage.
This is Vinny O'Brien, 2010 Golden Glove champion.
This is Gabe Sapolsky from Dragon Gate USA and Evolve Pro Wrestling, and you're locked into Beyond Ringside.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, liftoff.
Greetings. Good morning. How's it going? 2 minutes after the top of the hour on the live side. I don't know what time you're listening to this on the pre-recorded side, so I can't pull the time reference out. Babbling? Oh, yeah. Let's have some fun. Greetings. Welcome in to the Shooters Gallery. Live from Studio 1 behind the announcer's table. I'm the Magic City Motor Mouth Fast Eddie Layne. Joining us live from the Peachstate in the promoter's office, Mr. Shane Noles. How's it going, brother?
It is wonderful this morning, Eddie, and just like Juice Newton saying, Angel of the Morning, just make sure you touch my cheek before you leave me. It is beautiful. I've had my orange juice and my turkey bacon. We're raring to go this morning.
I almost snuck out to go grab a quick bite to eat before the show this morning, and then I realized I still have a taco salad from Thursday night in the freeze, so I have decided... Yeah, I'm kind of curious as to see how that's going to hold up.
The taco salad may devour you at this point.
Well, we kept the shell separate from the rest of the taco salad.
Wise man.
Yes. So I figure what I can do is go ahead and just basically almost stir fry the contents. Take the shell, keep it in the container that it's put in, since it's aluminum, one of those little flexi thingies, kind of like Jiffy Pop popcorn, and throw that in the oven for about 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes. Let it, let it maintain its texture, so to speak, if there's anything left to do. And then we'll just go ahead and kill it for lunch.
I was going to say, stir fry, you're going to boil out whatever bacteria may be remaining.
There you go. There was a Chipotle reference in there somewhere, and I'm not going to touch it because I keep hearing the words corporate espionage or sabotage. Thank you to everybody listening in this morning through BeyondRingside.com, the BR Radio app for Amazon, Android, and BlackBerry, the TuneIn mobile app cross-format, Shoutcast Winamp. Actually, I have to put a hold on Shoutcast because for some reason Radionomy has removed us from their directory, and I don't know why. I'm not getting a return message from them, so... still able to listen to a number of different desktop apps, including Ustream and Ustream Mobile. Forgot about those, and I apologize for that. Ustream's been with us for a number of years and always greatly appreciated. Great service through that company. It has been a wild week in a lot of ways. Fastlane coming up tomorrow, and I keep forgetting about it. Is that bad? Shane?
I think I know why you may be forgetting about it, because WrestleMania is just around the corner, but WrestleMania for stock car racing, the Great American Race, takes place tomorrow at the same time as Fastlane, and I know where Fast Eddie Layne's thoughts may be trending towards.
That has a lot to do it, and I know that they ran the truck race last night, did not get a chance to watch it, but I understand the truck series got off to a crashing start.
Pretty mildly.
Yeah. Did you happen to have a chance to catch it?
Just the last couple of laps. No, I didn't get a chance to watch the full deal.
I find it amazing because that's something that we've that race fans and non-race fans have always joked about. It's like you watch the opening ceremonies, listen for the command, cars get started, okay, race is underway, what's on TV? And then we'll come back with about 20 laps to go.
I was going to say that. So my dad, he wants to see the pre-race, even if he doesn't know who Three Doors Down is. He wants to see him perform. He wants to hear all the Hollywood Hotel. He wants to see the command, gentlemen, start your engines. He wants to get it to the first caution, which may come about 8 laps in if somebody gets a little squirrely. And then he wants to take a nap and wake me up when there's 30 to go because he said that's the only laps to count. So, I mean, people are conditioned to that now.
Well, there's times when it depends on what is on television, and it also depends on what's on my DVR that I have not seen. Yeah, because I try to go ahead and clear out. I still treat NASCAR to a great degree like appointment television, just like I treat Lucha Underground on Wednesday nights on the El Rey Network. Oh, my God. if you missed this past week's episode, you missed a solid show from start to finish. But by the same token, I'll sit back and say this. One of the reasons why I do keep, and I don't DVR NASCAR races unless I know I'm not going to be here for any of them, for any of the race. Because I know that I can always flip back and forth, and depending on what's on television, I may watch all the way through. Unless, of course, they start mentioning the Penske princesses, and then it's like, okay, mute.
Everybody drink.
Yeah, you started that one.
I am. Anytime you take a shot at the, I'll say the drivers under contract to Penske Racing. Everybody at home take a shot. So go ahead and break out that jacket.
Nice. Shane brings in a new dimension to the Beyond Ringside drinking game, which of course started with the phrase "in the business." Drink. Because we had a tendency on BR Live, we would jokingly say that phrase more often than not, and we actually turned that into the Beyond Ringside drinking game. Anytime, me especially, I'll use the phrase "in the business." That's exhibition, not competition. No drink necessary. I'll come back and pick it up later. Trust me. That normally entails either it doesn't matter if it's water, tea, milk, orange juice. It can be Jack, Jim, Jose, Johnny Walker, Bud, Coors Light, whatever. Notice there was one that got left out, and that was intentional. As I sit here with my Monster Energy drink sitting in front of one side of my desk and my Diet Mountain Dew on the other. Where's my Dale call this morning? Speaking of, picked up the win in one of the two Can-Am duels the other night, this past Thursday night. Kyle Busch picking up the other one. Is it kind of ironic that they would be the two to win the duel, Shane?
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, I think Dale Jr., it's obvious to anyone he's got the car through Speed Weeks, and I'm not one that buys into conspiracy theories, but the more and more you hear, you see ESPN covering this is the 15-year anniversary of his father's death. You could certainly, of course, and that's my thing. I'm not, they want Dale Jr. to win it, is the conspiracy theorist point of view, and my point of view is NASCAR would love if Jr. won every race. Don't tell me just because of this 15-year. You know what I mean? I don't think there's any extra sentiment or any extra oomph that Dale Jr. needs to win this to commemorate the occasion of his father's tragic death. But I digress. On the duels, it doesn't. I mean, you know, I'm a Jamie McMurray fan, and I really hated to see. I thought he had the opportunity, was going to pass Kyle to win that thing before Jimmy Johnson got loose. But Kyle Busch, not a fan, but respected. And if he were to win the Great American Race, I think on top of winning the championship, I think already winning a championship should erase a lot of people's minds about he's a good driver, but he lets his ego and his emotions get the best of him. No, he was against the 8-ball last year, missing all those races, had to qualify. I mean, had to truly qualify to get into the chase. And, you know, not like the other drivers didn't, but, I mean, he was, you know, points behind. But I think now if you won the Great American Race, and certainly if you win a duel, you've certainly got to look like a contender. I just think that's complete career vindication for Kyle Busch. Could he have any detractors at this point? Oh,
there's going to be detractors all the way across the board, but by the same token, you're going to have people sit back and go, yeah, it's rigged. There's something wrong with this car, and da-da-da-da-da-da. It's like, please, people, come on. Every once in a while, you just have to sit back and realize that somebody has the better car on a consistent basis. Now, here, Kyle Busch has been a winner, period, for the last few years in particular. How many times?
In every series.
Yeah, really. In the Truck Series and the Xfinity Series, and of course in the Cup Series, which, if the legend still holds, this will be the final year of sponsorship by Sprint. Damn. That's a scary. I was actually hoping they'd hold on for a little while longer, but that's just me. Hey, that'll be a good time to bring Winston back on board. Can you imagine the?
Well, you went exactly in my wheelhouse. I made the joke at work this week about Sprint ending the sponsorship, and I said they would never go back to cigarettes, but you could expect the vape, the electronic cigarette 500 coming up soon.
Why not just go ahead and bring Budweiser on as the principal sponsor?
Please.
I mean, look, Budweiser, I love the commercial they ran for the Super Bowl they were supposed to run for the Super Bowl, and it did not appear at the 2-minute warning like it was supposed to. And I'm making a reference to the Budweiser trying to flex its muscle and reestablish its dominance as a long-standing superpower in the name of beer to try to, I guess they're feeling the pinch. And here's the sad part about it. I work in the nightclub industry. I work in the bar and restaurant industry. And I know for a fact. Good. Yeah.
I've interrupted. Just hang tight. I've got to take a call. I'll join back in just a second.
Okay, no problem. And with Budweiser having had price increases in two price increases last year and 2 the year before that, you can see a lot of bars are fighting to keep the price down to where they can actually keep it competitive with a number of the other companies that are out there. I mean, I hate to say, I call out Bud by name. I enjoy the product. I drink Bud and Bud Light, period. Bud Light, Coors Light, all of it, Michelob Light, but that's also another Anheuser-Busch. So but the thing that you have to take into consideration is the fact that there's so many micros out there that are really making a positive impact, and it's taking the business away from the macros. So you just gotta, Bud, you can't always, you gotta do what you can to keep the price competitive or people are going to find an alternative. And I say that about any industry. I say it about beer. I say it about cars. There's another one that I'd like to say right now, but I'm not going to. But yeah, Fastlane coming up tomorrow on the WWE Network. I'm actually still having a problem utilizing the term pay-per-views nowadays because you never know which of them are going to be featured via traditional pay-per-view, i.e. in demand. I know that primarily that Fastlane will be featured on the WWE Network. They have been actually, here's a scary thought, the build for the Fastlane event on the WWE Network has been a steady build. And that's something that you have to really sit back and go, wow. Because on a pay-per-view right now, WWE would normally have a tendency to do one of two things. Rush or hold up. And it all comes down to which direction they're going to go in with certain characters. So we're going to be taking a little bit of a look a little bit later on today as far as the overall lineup because actually Shane is going to be joining us tomorrow because we're going to have a nice little bombshell for everybody. Also want to go ahead and drop out the fact that in just a little while, slated to be joined by pro wrestling stars Ace Haven and possibly Charles Zander, the combination known as #trending now around the southeastern U.S. Folks, if you haven't had a chance to see these kids in action, okay, look, I say it chronologically speaking, not in a derogatory sense in any capacity whatsoever. So I will sit back and say anybody who wants to say, man, he called them kids. Well, I'm older than them. A lot. A mile. I can do this. Of course, compared to me, King Kong was a kid. Also, now this is something that's going to be kind of curious on my part, but I also happen to know that circumstances in play do work out. Tonight, February the 20th, want to say best of luck to a good friend of ours here on the BR family of shows, and that is the NWA Women's World Champion, Amber O'Neal. She's going to be in action tonight. Always great to work with Amber. Also, good friend of ours, the Iceberg, the No Pain Train, going to be in action a little bit later tonight up over in eastern Georgia. From there, you've got a lot of great shows that are going to be taking place all over the place this weekend. And matter of fact, we're going to be covering a little bit more of tonight's live event for Peachstate Wrestling Alliance in Carrollton, Georgia, at the historic VFW Fairgrounds in just a few minutes. 6,000 different things hit my mind all at once. And lo and behold, my brain just happens to jam out. It's not always a good thing, trust me on that one. I noticed around one of the updates, Carl Anderson's journey to WWE as it stands right now. Japanese reporter noted on Twitter that Carl Anderson finally revealed, this is coming out yesterday, kids, finally revealed he's going to WWE. Really? Big surprise. How many people are surprised to hear Carl Anderson's going to WWE? None. Except for this one person over in the middle of Arkansas who doesn't have internet. I'll leave it at that. Anderson apparently is going, thank you, with his tag partner Doc Gallows. They had their final New Japan Wrestling appearance on the 19th. Apparently, and also had faced the Briscoe brothers the day before. Now, let me tell you something. If you followed Anderson and Gallows, and if you follow Jay and Mark Briscoe, you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that when these four men get inside the squared circle and go at it, it is going to be the epitome of the term Kodak moment. Because you've got 4 ultra-talented competitors in the ring, 2 great tag teams. Jay and Mark Briscoe, one of the most decorated tag teams in Ring of Honor and pro wrestling. And then you've got the part of the Bullet Club, Anderson and Gallows, just absolutely tremendous in their own right. Love to watch all 4 of these guys work. It's always a lot of fun. And you know, I bring that F word out, or the FU word out, fun. And that's something that you want to maintain. I mean, I'm not saying you got to goof off, cut up, and just go 93 different directions before, during, and after a match. I'm just saying that this is supposed to be fun all the way across the board. Yes, we all want to make the money. Yes, we want to advance. Yes, we want to go as far as we can in our careers. Yes, we want to stay healthy, but you got to keep it fun. And that is why if video footage ever comes out, now if they tape this for the New Japan show, World Pro Wrestling on Access TV, AXS. If you haven't seen it yet, look it up. I'm going to be bringing up a match that was aired last night on World Pro Wrestling with Tenzan, and matter of fact, I'll go and do it now. Shane, of course, right now on the telephone, he is on, well, he's having to take another call with and I'm going to cover the World Pro Wrestling match in just a minute. I want to go and throw this one out there. I make the reference to the Renaissance in pro wrestling. And with everything from WWE, NXT, yeah, I'm almost treating them separately a little bit because it's no longer just WWE developmental. NXT is its own animal now. And that's a good thing. And hopefully the front office creative understands that. It is a good thing. Even when you cultivate your own competition, it gives everybody something new to shoot for. And remember something, folks. I'm going to hold up for a second because I'd originally wanted Shane to come in on this point. When you have a scenario like NXT, when a company that had created its own developmental, of course they do it all the time, create their own developmental, just not let it mushroom into what it has. And it goes from FCW, Florida Championship Wrestling, to NXT. And then you start to see the talent that is investing in NXT. And then the crowds at NXT, live or taped, continue to buy in and show the fact that they enjoy the product. It becomes infectious. The talent laid the groundwork and continued what the front office, Regal, Brookside, everybody in the front office was trying to establish. I'm pretty damn sure that Hunter knew what he was doing. He built a brand inside of the WWE brand, but at the same time separate from it. It didn't have all of the WWE fingerprints on it, the Vince McMahon prints on it. And that's something you have to credit the NXT family for doing. The NXT brand, if you want to put it that way. Which we will. We'll say it 100,000 times. The fact stands. What they've done is create their own competition. But at the same time, it's still their feeder system. No problem with that. Everybody, I don't care who it is. I don't care what line of work you're in. We thrive. Hopefully, we thrive on being competitive. Sure, in the front of our minds, it's like, yeah, this is cool. I got this. No problem. And in the back of our minds, those of us who enjoy being competitive, those of us who enjoy the competition, what can I do to become better? What can I do to push myself to the next level? What can I do to increase the value of my personal brand? And trust me, kids, in the world of pro wrestling, in the world of mixed martial arts, in the world of boxing, it doesn't matter what level you're on, you are always of the mindset of pushing it to the next level. It doesn't matter if it's UFC. It doesn't matter if it's Bellator, Invicta. It doesn't matter if it's World Series of Fighting, WSOF. Special hello this morning to the CEO, President Ray Safo. Really enjoy the product. But we all enjoy, to a great degree, the competition factor. And that's one of the reasons why we do get in this. I've never asked for a cakewalk. I never asked for anything to be handed to me personally. Refuse to. Why? Because you appreciate it more when you earn it. And genuinely when you win it. Kind of like in March 6th when Shane is going to pay off on that wing bet. If he had snuck back in, I figured I would bait him on that one. But coming back over to it, yeah. Triple H, Albert, Regal, they have started to create, I'm not going to say a dynasty, I'm going to say its own living, breathing organism. Because when NXT can take it on the road and pack out a 15,000 seat arena, yeah. And remember, people will go and spend money if they feel they're getting their money's worth. Always. If they have it to spend, they will spend their money when they feel they're getting their money's worth. Unlike in retail, they'll spend money when they feel like they're saving money. Or unless it's just one of those, oh, gotta have it. I've got to ask, before we go to the bottom of the hour break, with social media, Facebook, MySpace, Twitter, Feed, Periscope, LinkedIn, Google+, all these different networks. With the abundance of them, have we gotten lost in the shuffle? You've got some people who still will not touch Facebook to this day. And that includes in business. It's like, okay, it's Facebook. I don't care. Do the same thing on Twitter. And I almost have to wonder, in the world of athletics, in the world of sports, have we overemphasized having a presence on social media? It seems like everybody is on Twitter or Instagram, which to me, those are the lesser of the evils. And I'm sure there's some others out there. Like I said, you got Periscope out there also, which I have it. And yes, I know about Snapchat. I'm on there. Fast Eddie Layne. Hi there. How you doing? Don't really do anything on it, but I have it. I may go ahead and delete my account because I don't do anything on it. I really don't. I have Instagram. I have Twitter. They're linked over. They're crossed over. But are we putting too much of ourselves out there in a personal sense in our professional forums? The easy answer to that question is yes, a lot of us are. You have people who, for the sake of making themselves more personable and to give people something to latch onto, so to speak, professional athletes have way too many. That's why it's like pick one. Pick one. Okay, you can have a presence on Facebook, but make Twitter or Instagram your primary. Fine, do that. But you don't have to have an account on every damn social media form out there. I genuinely believe that. And I think that people are starting to realize the reality TV, the reality era, which I still laugh at that and appreciate it. We actually are starting to see that for what it is. And people are starting to put things in check on social media. If it needs to go out there, it needs to go out there. If it should go out there, it should go out there. If it doesn't have to go out there, leave it alone. And I think in this era, because everybody wants to be more accessible to where they feel like their fans can actually have more interaction with them, normally that's a good thing. But there has to be a line drawn, because I have to sit back and say this. There comes a point where people get upset. There are people who legitimately get upset if their favorite personality does not tweet them back. Really, people? Really? Look, I'll shoot messages out. I'll shoot comments out on Twitter, and if I get a response, great, wonderful. If I don't, it's not. If I ask a direct question that is logical, linear, and makes sense, and I don't get a response, that's one thing. But if it's just like, "What'd you have for breakfast this morning?" If you really answer that, I'm just gonna shake my head, roll my eyes, and walk off. So that in of itself makes for a little bit of fun in the mornings. Tell you what, going to go ahead and head for the bottom of the hour break. The Shooters Gallery rolls on in just a moment. Stay with us.
This is Country Jack, Corey Hollis, and you are locked in to Beyond Ringside.
When planning your next party or special event, insist on the best. Full Range Entertainment is a professional entertainment company providing a full range of services. From professional disc jockeys and MCs to catering and photography, when the details of your special day must be perfect, call us first. Wedding receptions, corporate parties, school functions, birthday celebrations, and more. We also have Birmingham's largest selection of karaoke tracks available. With over 40 years combined experience, Full Range Entertainment can provide you with the talent and professionalism you need and deserve to make your next event one you'll never forget. For more information on the full range of services we offer, call 533-HITS. That's 533-HITS. Or check us out on our website at fullrangeentertainment.com.
This is Evan Ginsberg, associate producer of the movie The Wrestler, host of Legends Radio and Legends TV, and you're locked into Beyond Ringside.
Howdy, friends. This is the Magic City Motormouth, Fast Eddie Layne, with your invitation to join yours truly, along with Mark Mabo Bowman and the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, every Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific, for Beyond Ringside Live. Wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, and a whole lot more. Keep your eyes open on BeyondRingside.com for all of upcoming show information, and of course, catch us on social media as well. Until then, we'll see you this Sunday, 6:30 Eastern, for Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
This is Larry Goodman, GWH News and Notes, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
This is Dr. Tom Pritchard, and if you want to listen to the best in professional wrestling, get locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Hello, and welcome to today's lottery drawing. Good luck. And here's today's winning numbers. First one up, it's not yours. Second one, not yours. And another number that's not yours. Okay, this is one number that's yours. It's a 5, but you don't get any money for that. And the final number is not yours.
Yep, so chances are you're not going to hit the lottery anytime soon. Don't get us wrong, the lottery can be fun every now and then. Just please don't rely on it for your future savings. How about this? Brew your own coffee at home instead of buying that latte every day. Brown bag it to work instead of ordering in. Ride your bike instead of buying all that gas. These changes alone can save you thousands a year. Thousands. Small changes today, big bucks tomorrow. Feed that piggy bank. Go to feedthepig.org for more free ideas on how to save. Feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
This is Super Cop Dick Justice, America's favorite wrestler, American-born hero. And right now, like a stiff bear hug, you are locked into Beyond Ringside.
This is Angel, half of the Double Trouble Morning Team on Distant Thunder Radio, and you are locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Hi, this is April Hunter from aprilhunter.com, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Welcome back in. Shooters Gallery is live on this Saturday morning, going 33 minutes after the hour, 27 before the top, on this 20th day of February 2016. Got a lot of great things going on. Let me go ahead and pass this one along to everybody tonight on NBC Sports Network and their embedded player. Well, I'll talk about that part in just a minute. World Series of Fighting back in action tonight. WSOF 28. Moraes versus Barajas. Okay. There's different pronunciations. I know that. I'm going with the one that I know. Tonight on NBC Sports Network, NBCSN. If you have not had a chance to check out the WSOF product, absolutely tremendous. And before I go any further, Shane's on. I've got The Life of a Pro Wrestling Promoter, who is also the co-host of a radio show. Shane is with me. He's over on the other line right now, so he'll be back as soon as he's able to. But I'm going to go and throw this one out there. Tonight, World Series of Fighting, once again, WSOF 28, headlined by the World Series of Fighting bantamweight kingpin Marlon Moraes, current record 15-4-1, putting his title on the line for the third defense. He'll be facing Joseph Barajas, coming in with a 12-1 record. Co-main event will put together two bantamweight fighters. Contenders, definitely, in every sense of the term. Timur Valiev, also known as Lucky, comes in with a 10-1 record, and also be taking on Chris Gutierrez, who is nicknamed El Guapo. If you haven't had a chance to see these two fight, trust me. And I'm going to say this one right there, because, you know, longtime listeners to the Beyond Ringside brands will know the fact that I've been a huge fan of the WSOF series for a long time, ever since I think I first came on in WSOF 5, when I first stumbled across the product. And you've heard me make a reference to Ray Safo and the great job that he and his team have done putting together some great fights. There is a 5-fight preliminary card, which will be streamed live through WSOF.com. Coming on at 6:45 p.m. Eastern Time, 3:45 Pacific Time, so it's going to be running straight across the board. Sorry, I hate it when that happens. Need my cough button. And NBCSN will televise the main card portion of WSOF 28 at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, live from the Next Level Sports Complex in Garden Grove, California. Then, by the way, at 11:45 p.m. Eastern Time, head back to WSOF.com. You've got two more bonus fights from Bama USA, BAMMA USA. If you, like I said, another great promotion or another great series, you got to check it out, including one for their USA title. They do have the video of their weigh-ins from yesterday. Sorry, this is getting me. Now, hopefully that'll be better. Also on the main card, 4 fights on the main card, 5 fights on the preliminary. Welterweight challenge, Jamie Yeager taking on Daniel McWilliams. Welterweight challenge also, Ozzy Alvarez, slow down, Eddie, taking on Andrew Ram. On the preliminary card, you've got 5 solid fights. I've had a chance to do a little bit of homework. And also, once again, on the post-main card, Chris Saunders, I'll get it right in a minute, taking on Darren Smith, defending the lightweight championship. And, of course, the bantamweight fight, Albert Morales taking on Anthony Paredes. You try to say too much too quickly sometimes, and in my case, it bites me in the ass because, especially in the mornings, I'm still trying to get the gears in place. Also, let me go ahead and throw these out for everybody, not to mention the fact that if you're out and about and different areas of, I'm just going to say all the way across the board, tonight, Saturday, February the 20th, Prairie Wrestling Alliance at the Northgate Lions Senior Recreation Center, 7524 139th Avenue Northwest in Edmonton, Alberta. Yes, special hello up there this morning. 7:30 p.m. start time. Phoenix, Arizona, playing host to Lucha Libre Vaz at the ASU Preparatory Academy. 735 East Fillmore Street in Phoenix. That is a 3 p.m. local time start time. Tonight in Chilliwack, British Columbia, All-Star Wrestling. Oh, hold on. All-Star Wrestling taking place tonight at the Tachin Community Center in Chilliwack, British Columbia, 7:30 p.m. start time. The number of great events. Empire Wrestling Federation tonight in San Bernardino, California at VFW Post 8737 at 2018 Foothills Boulevard. And that is going to be at 8 p.m. start time. Take a look at the Beyond Ringside Friends page and fan page. I know I've been doing a lot of posting up there recently, but thanks to good friends Phil Stamper and Nate Stein, ampersand in there somewhere, sometimes underscore, does a great job putting together an event calendar for pro wrestling. And I know that there is something going on, whether you are in Los Angeles, California, Arvada, Colorado, Orlando, Mineola, Florida, Woodstock, Georgia, Carrollton, Georgia. Good Lord, how many shows are going around the Southeast this weekend? Even shows finding out Wooddale, Illinois, Granite City, Illinois, Evansville, Indiana. So keep your eyes open. There's always something going on. Put the remote down. Hey, you heard me mention WSOF 28 a minute ago. DVR it if you're not going to be home. Seriously, DVR it. It's that easy. Click. And when you get home, enjoy some great MMA action. And like I said, you can check out a lot of their stuff on WSOF.com, by the way. I've been meaning to tell you about that, too. Like to welcome in good friend of the family. He is the last hero and one half of the tag team combination known as hashtag Trending Now. Vince, that was the original version. Thanks for ripping something else off again. Creative Team in KMA. Ladies and gentlemen, Ace Haven. Hey, Ace, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
Well, Shane is on another line handling business right now. But so far, it's a Saturday morning. I'm a little bit scattered, but other than that, doing pretty darn good. Dude, I don't know if you've had a chance to listen to some of the previous shows, but over the last, I'm going to go ahead and lay this one out there. Oh, hold on. Do we have both has? Oh, and we're doing this live, kids, so bear with me for a second. Charles, is that you?
Yes, sir, it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got them both on.
Good morning.
The tag team known as hashtag Trending Now or Trending Now. Once again, Vince, get it right. Flip it around. Just be nice when you do it. Ace Haven and Charles.
I'm back, Eddie, by the way.
Good. Got Shane back. Ladies and gentlemen, the family is together. We're good now.
Sorry about that. Good old wrestling business on the day of a wrestling show. So.
Yeah, I know. I was making a reference to that as I was coming back in from the break. It's like the life of a pro wrestling promoter who is also the co-host of a radio show on show day. But keeping the world in proper perspective, let's go and lay it out there. It's Fast Eddie Layne, Shane Noles on the Shooters Gallery on this Saturday morning, 20th day of February. Now being joined and having just been joined by the combination known as hashtag Trending Now, the last hero, Ace Haven and Charles Zanders. Gentlemen, glad to have you both on board this morning.
I'm glad to be here.
I have said
I'm not going to dignify that with a response. I'm here all the time.
We're going to give Ace a co-hoster chair before it's over with. You know this, right?
As long as you're not bumping me out of my seat, we're good. But good to have you both on. I know Ace is a veteran guest of Beyond Ringside, but you've never been on with Xander, so there are still firsts in this business.
This is true.
Actually, I've got to throw this one out there because there was an underlying competition because the person who had the seat as far as most appearances at one particular point in time was multi-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion Scrap Iron Adam Pearce. And when I told Ace one time, it's like, well, I think this is now going to match you and Pearce appearance for appearance. He's like, hold on, I just tied Pearce. I'm good.
Yeah.
I popped for 2 days. I could not stop chuckling on that one. It's like, thank you. I needed that. Now, before we go into it, and I've got to lay this one out there. I'm trying to think of the easy way to say it, and y'all know me too well. I'm trying to find the easy way, but I'll take the hard way, so to speak, or the difficult way. I've made the statement, and this is not blowing smoke. This is not a stroke. This is not trying to mess up anybody's egos, but I'm just going to sit back and say this. I have said this in the public and the private forum for a combination that has been together a relatively short amount of time. The chemistry that the two of you have established parallels that of a number of long-form teams that I have seen in my run in pro wrestling. Charles, I'm going to go to you first on this one. What do you attribute personally the fact that you and Haven have gelled so well together?
I don't know. I think it's, I'm hoping it's kind of a spark, because I'm generally an excitable kind of guy, and Ace is more level-headed. I feel like I'm more of an exciting, Ace has to bring me back down to earth, but, I can get kind of hyped pretty easily, and I feel like that kind of attributes to a lot of our success is, we go at it no matter what the situation is. We give 110%.
Ace, I'll turn to you on that one.
Well, I think it's mostly a drive to succeed. I think, and Charles and I know I'm speaking for him in this case, but I believe we have the same opinion of this. Is I think we measure success differently than other guys do. And some guys measure success with title runs and main event slots and type things like that. And those things are great too. But I think what hashtag Trending Now tries to do is we just want to be the match that everyone talks about. We want to be the match that steals the show. And, if that's the opening match, in front of 15 people, that's that's fine with us. If it's the main event match in front of 500 people and, we're picking up another set of tag straps, that's great too. But our goal when we walk into a locker room and when we walk out at the end of the night is to have had the best match on the card and to have stole the show and let people talk and going, those hashtag trending now boys, those are the people that we came to see.
Now, Shane, you and I share the philosophy that tag team wrestling is far from even on live support, that it's alive and well in great degree. When you have a team like hashtag trending now, Zanders and Haven, and you see the enthusiasm they bring to the ring, you see the fact how level-headed they are in the locker room. Oop, curtain, there you go. I mean, does it make it that much easier for you as a promoter?
It does, and this is not a glory hogging situation, but I remember coming to Ace last summer. I think it was around August, and mentioned to him, I said, would you think about doing a tag team just to shake things up? And he said, sure. He mentioned someone by name. I won't mention him here because the future is now with hashtag trending now. But and I said, what about Zanders? And Charles had just debuted in the company that night, August 15th, I think in a three-way dance against Scott Aries and Andrew Aries. And, I had high hopes, and I saw how excited they got, and I'm going to pull back the curtain here. The original name for hashtag trending now, folks, if it goes the length of time that we hope hashtag trending now will go for decades, the original name was going to be the Blonde Bombers, a la shades of Top Gun with the bomber jackets and the aviators, and that was scrapped. And, but I mean, we had high hopes. I just saw Ace. I saw Zanders. I said, I like these guys both in singles. I had an opportunity to see Charles over in Pro Wrestling Alabama and Jasper on a number of occasions. Ace had worked at Peachstate on and off for like 4 years. And I just said, I think there's something here. And I didn't know that they would get along so well, that the chemistry would be in and outside the ring. Because if you see these two guys together, they're always joking, they're always laughing, they're always busting each other's balls. I mean, it's not like we're just business. We show up, we put on the tights. We're a tag team. They're friends outside the squared circle, and I think that speaks volumes about their cohesiveness. So it does make it easy. And kudos to them, too, because the crowd at PWA has taken to them far greater than even I imagined in such a short amount of time.
Now, I will flip the script, so to speak. Shane, I'll go ahead and turn questioning over to you for trending now.
I've got one for you. You guys were so close January 16th at the PWA Tag Team Title Tournament. You won your opening round match. You went to a draw with the eventual champions, the Beautiful Ball Besties. And then a lot of fans would say victory was, the curtain was, the rug was pulled out from under you, so to speak, in the finals. Did you have your heart set that you really thought once you reached the finals of that thing out of 8 teams that tonight is our night, or have you kind of taken a step back and said, maybe it just wasn't our time, but does it motivate you more, or was it a lull of a period of disappointment you had to get over?
Ace, I'll let you handle that.
Okay. I think it's very motivating because I got hurt in that match. I messed up my ankle in that match, and that kind of threw off us being able to do any kind of tag team work at that moment because it was really just a one-man show. And it motivates us more because we were so close to beating the Besties earlier in the night when we had our time limit draw with them. And I think Charles and I, along with everyone at PWA, and I think the Besties know it too, that it's just a matter of time till we beat them. It's really just a matter of when we get another opportunity. In 2016, I've said it before, I've said it several times online, 2016 belongs to hashtag trending now. The Besties were the 2015 Georgia Tag Team of the Year, and that's great, but it took them however many years they've been tagging to get there, and hashtag trending now is going to do it this year. We're going to come in our rookie year, we're going to be champs by the end of the year. We're going to be the 2016 Tag Team of the Year, and and if all goes as planned, we're going to be the winners of the Junkyard Dog Memorial Tag Team Tournament in 2016 as well.
There you go. Nice slide in for the reference.
Popping for your bravado, yes.
I'm popping for the fact that he's got more than one reference in there. Nicely played, Ace.
Well, yeah. Not my first time at the dance.
There you go. Now, Ace and I have had a number of conversations, and Charles, I've never really had a chance to ask you this question. And Ace, you know which one's coming. For all of us, whether it be in wrestling and mixed martial arts and boxing and whatever sport we're a part of, whatever industry we're a part of, there's always two moments, especially for those of us in contact sports. The first moment is when you genuinely become a fan. The second moment is when the bug bites. For Zanders, what are those two moments real quick?
Man, I've been a fan for as long as I can remember. I can remember watching, Royal Rumbles back in, 98, and, I can remember getting pay-per-views because my parents let me, or sneaking into the kitchen and hiding while I watched wrestling while my mother disagreed with that. But the bug didn't hit until a couple of events happened, and me and my friends had talked about doing it for a long time. And one day, my friends just decided to go and start training, and that was the day I knew I was going to be a pro wrestler. And after the first time I ever hit that mat, I knew what I wanted to do, and I have not looked back. I've done everything in my power. I've put everything I have into pro wrestling, and so far it's given everything back to me. I love it.
First day in the ring for training, was it butterflies, was it hummingbirds, or was it pterodactyls buzzing in your gut?
First day of training, actually, we were kind of forced into it rather quickly. we weren't really given time to get butterflies or anything like that because we were doing, our trainer made us go as heavy as we could the first day we got there to really weed out the ones who wanted to be there and who didn't. So, nervousness until I hit the mat probably the second time. And then I knew it naturally came to me. And so after that, I was fine. Nervousness didn't hit until my first match. That was the scariest moment of my life. I blacked the dude's eye. It was rough. I messed up a sharpshooter. Everything about that match was the worst of all time. I'm really hoping nobody got footage of that.
You never know.
I know, that's what now. But,
go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just,
okay.
Nervousness doesn't hit until you go out in front of people. Then the nervousness really hits. That's when the butterflies hit.
Ace, I turn to you for this one. Has Ace Haven arrived? Or are you still on that journey? And if you are, how close are you?
I hate the term. I hate the term arrive because my opinion on the business is if you're ever not on that journey, you need to get out. And that's how I feel about it. At any point in time, no matter how far I go, no matter how much success I have, whether it's hashtags in it now or just last year doing single stuff, always I'll feel like I have something to prove to somebody. And and there's always a scary revelation that no matter how good you get from the top of the cards to the bottom of the cards, there's always somebody somewhere that's better than you. So, and it's kind of a never-ending journey for me. I feel like you can't really ever complete the journey because there's times that I look back on the things that I've done, and I feel like I've had a fairly successful regional indie career thus far. And there's things I look back and I go, if I walked away today, could I be proud of what I've done? And it's kind of that struggle. That's my arrival, is getting to the point of where I can go, okay, I can quit tomorrow and be proud of the body of work I've left.
Shane, come on board.
I've just got to say this. I guess this is a moment for the promoter to put talent over, but shooting from the heart, boys. With Ace Haven first and foremost, he got my vote in 2014 for most improved wrestler in the state of Georgia, and he did not win that award. And that's one where I'd actually cry foul and say he was shafted, because I thought Ace Haven's body of work from January through December of 2014 was just a skyrocket of improvement. But with Ace, one thing I tell this to people all the time, and I don't have to tell it much anymore, thankfully. People were like, why do you keep bringing Ace Haven? Do you not see how big he is? And I'm like, yeah, I see that, but I don't see size. And I'll make a bad ill-veiled reference here. Size matters outside the ring, not in it. But, I mean, I see heart and determination. And all the way back from 2009 when he came up to Bremen, Georgia, and I didn't even know it. He came in through MJ. But I saw something I saw some determination in this guy that he was going to make something of himself. And I've just been proud to see, not only at Peachstate, GCW, Pro South, Chikara, where Ace has been and what he's done, that it's a testament to, I mean, and I'm not speaking for Ace Haven, but I know he's heard it his whole career. You're not this tall, you're not this big. He doesn't give a damn. Get in the ring and bust his ASS. And for Charles, the first second I saw him in Jasper, he was friendly. He shook hands, and I watched his matches. I thought there was something there, and even at that point in time, June of 2015, I started thinking him and Ace Haven would be a good singles feud. The thought of tagging hadn't hit me yet, but where I was going to go with this, wrap this up in a beautiful bow, boys, was that it really pleases me as a promoter to see two guys in a tag team that over with the people in just a short amount of time. Because, make no mistake about it, we don't have television, live TV at Peachstate. There were no vignettes to introduce these guys. Right. There was no 6 weeks of Glacier is coming. I mean, they just came and debuted at hashtag trending now, and from the moment people saw them, and this is where I really want to say what I really mean for you guys. When I was at a Pro South event, I think it was back in October, and this is an hour and a half after the final match, and I see you two in the ring, bumping, working on tag team maneuvers. I said, that's something special, because legacies are built before the big match, not during it, in my opinion. You have to do so much prep work to get into that. So, I mean, knowing what you guys put into it outside the ring, out when the cameras are away, when there's not a single ticket buying public in there seeing it, I think it just speaks volumes. I'm proud of you both.
Either of you like to address that? Zanders?
Well, I mean, I'd like to say that, fans think, and a lot of pro wrestlers think they can get away with just, doing it on the weekends and, just spending their Friday or Saturday night going out there and wrestling, which is fine. But if you want to succeed, this is a full-time job. I mean, I know Ace and I can both say that our life is pro wrestling first. I mean, there's many a times where we've had to miss birthdays and stuff like that to be on the road. And that's not to toot our own horn, but there's many independent wrestlers that are doing that. I mean, I know hundreds of wrestlers, and I don't know a lot of wrestlers that are doing that every single day. And, I feel like it's not, we work for what we get, and we have to scrap for every inch of it, because me and Ace are not big, so we kind of have to fight even harder, and, I'm going to continue to do that, and I can probably say for Ace, he's going to continue to do that also.
Ace, your side of the coin.
I mean, I could echo the same thing as Zanders said, but, he mostly hit it on the head, and I feel like whenever we do a good performance, and I'm gonna use a scale of 1 to 10 here just to help the analogy. I feel like where normal people could get away with a 5, due to our size and our appearance and just the normal mindset of fans and promoters themselves, I feel like we have to do a 7 to get people to credit us with the same performance that other people could get out of a 5. And that's okay. I mean, I would rather be fighting from the bottom than be complacent at the top. But, that's something that I see a lot of in wrestling is complacency. I see guys that get in there and go, well, I can get this out of that. And that's all well and good. And I'm not saying that, you shouldn't go with what works. But there's no reason that you can't go out and go, I'm going to give every performance I have to any crowd that I perform in front of, and I'm going to perform like I may never get to perform again. Because, I mean, it's possible. You can have a Dusty McWilliams situation where you take a bad bump and you take a ride in a helicopter, or, you could be at a car accident like another one of our friends, Eli Daniels, and be done. Just like that. And your last performance could have been phoning it in front of, 150 people somewhere.
True.
And that's what you had to look back on.
I have a question after my statement. Both of you say pro wrestling is your life, and I admire that so much. I know I've worked in singles and now as a tag. Of course, you want to carve out your own legacy, your own mark, but, as you're a fan of pro wrestling and you watch and you study, is there one tag team that you would like to say you emulate yourselves? At least portions of tag team maneuvers or how you carry yourself in the ring.
Ace, I'll go to you first on that one.
There's got to be some kind of order to this chaos, Eddie.
Yeah.
I know when we first got together, the verbiage that I was given by Shane, and I don't know, I guess say he who should not be named. I haven't heard him named yet, so the verbiage I was given was Rock and Roll Express mixed with the Young Bucks. And that was great because it pretty much just was pulled out of my mind that way. Because, of course, me being Sean Mark, I went to the Rockers instead, but the Rockers were just rip-offs of the Rock and Roll Express anyway. So that's kind of the mindset I already had, is I was like, let's take the Young Bucks. Let's take the Young Bucks. Let's dial them down some. Let's dial down the Indie-rific some. And put a little more, of a southern flavor to it. And that's kind of where my mind went. I'm a big Motor City Machine Guns fan. So, over time, I would like to see us add more Motor City type combinations and, faster paced type tag moves. But it's a work in progress. I think a lot of people, when they look at us as a team, I don't think they realize that we've been tagging less than a year at this point. Right. And we've had, what was it, Zanders? I think I told you the other day, we've had less than 10 tag matches
Less than
together.
10 matches, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think people, I think if they knew the whole backstory and they knew the experience level of the tag team, I think they would be more impressed with what we do, I guess is what I'm trying to get at there. But, I feel like a lot of times we look more polished than we should be. And that goes back to what you and Shane have both said, is like, we're really close outside of the ring. Amy jokes all the time that we fight like married couples, and we really do. Because a lot of times people ask me, say, how do you feel about Charles Zanders? And I go, well, I love Charles and I hate Charles. That there's times where I just want to, choke him and then stick his head on train tracks. And then there's the sometimes where I'm like, no, pull Charles off the train tracks. Don't let him get hit by the train. And, but, and we work very hard at what we do. And, like Shane was telling the story after Wicked Havoc, we were in the ring and it was a grueling show. Like, Wicked Havoc was, I don't know, I got this horrible idea, but we did a fall festival that started at like 3 o'clock. And then we did a pre-show before Wicked Havoc that started at like 6. And then we did a full card that went from like 7 to 11. So we're bumping 11:30 midnight before we really get everybody out of the building. And this is we're trending now, which again, like you said, originally the Blonde Bombers started forming in a pro suffering midnight. And that I don't know. It's one of those things that it was booked together, but then it came together organically at the same time. And it was really cool to see something like that happen, because I didn't know that me and Charles were going to have the tag chemistry that we had either. And it just kind of came together, man. And like, it's really exciting to be a part of something like that.
Charles.
Well, first off, I have to completely agree with Ace. We do fight like cats and dogs. And there's a lot of evenings I want to punch him in the head. There's a lot of evenings I want to give him a hug and tell him goodbye. That being said, but there's a lot of, I had a really good feeling about this tag team, and I had a lot of private conversations with some friends of mine that I was really excited about it because, Ace can work his tail off. I mean, anybody who doubts Ace is a fool and really hasn't been in the ring with him long enough. But, I can't even, okay, I remember the question. It was what tag team? I don't know. I see a lot of Edge and Christian. I loved Edge and Christian back in the day. Their spunkiness, their attitude, like, their cohesiveness. They were best friends from the word go. I've been close to Ace since I first met him 2.5 years ago, somewhere along those lines. But I'm a huge Motor City Machine Gun mark also, so he mentioned that to me one time, and so I've been studying up on them quite a bit. And but you know, I think we're going to carve our own niche. I don't think we're going to be like any tag team. I think we're going to be an unusual tag team before this is all said and done.
Now, would you happen to be mentioning E&C because there have been people who made a reference to the fact that you do resemble a young Adam Copeland?
See what kills me is I've been told I look more like Christian. Like, I've been told I look more like Christian.
I don't see
and
it.
Aces look more. See, and that's fine, but, you know, I take that as a compliment. I get called Chris Jericho at work all the time. Once again, huge fan. I'm not complaining at all, but, yeah, Edge and Christian were awesome back in the day. They entertained the fans. That's the only thing that matters at the end of the day to me. If the fans go home happy, I'm happy.
Just remind me, I've got a one-liner that I want to use about the old married couple thing, but I'm going to do it off air and not on.
Sounds great.
Okay. Now, let's shift focus just a little bit. Tonight in Carrollton, Georgia, at the historic VFW Fairgrounds, Fast Eddie Layne, Shut Up, Shane Noles, come on board. You talk about this one, brother. You got this.
Oh, man. Well, since we've got them on the air, hashtag trending now tonight takes on the Get Along Gang, a different faction of the Get Along Gang. Marko and P-Dogg, Mike Posey.
Hello.
I thought it was interesting.
I'm sorry, you said Marko. It was knee-jerk reaction. I said Polo.
Oh, my apologies. I thought I lost you. January the 30th, you know, the Get Along Gang said, you know, how could you have a tag team tournament without us? And said they were going to beat Trending Now. Now, thanks to underhanded tactics, they were victorious. So I think tonight with Posey and Marko, you know, if they gain another victory over Trending Now, I think they would, they certainly have to be in line for a title shot against the besties. But I see this as an opportunity now as well for hashtag Trending Now to kind of, you know, clean the slate a little bit. And in my opinion, I think Get Along Gang caught them off guard. And that's not a detriment to either one of them. I'd say, you know, that's why I asked the question about being so close right there in the finals, and maybe had lost a little bit of focus and a little bit of a lull of a disappointment. Maybe they got caught. But hearing the determination in their voices today, I don't think that's going to be the issue this Saturday night. That the better team will win. It won't be anybody being caught, you know, off guard or, you know, thinking about previous matches. But Trending Now against the Get Along Gang, this time Posey and Marko, and I know you guys are, I guess you know what you're up for with the underhanded tactics that took place January 30th.
Zanders,
oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Go to Zanders.
Okay. I was trying to flip-flop.
Well, you know, I'm still going to bump into Marko because I left with a pretty big bruise on my thigh, and it was very difficult to squat the next day. I was very unhappy about that because I met the guardrail about 5 or 6 times, it felt like. But I have to agree with you, Shane. We kind of that tag team tournament kind of left us on an emotional high. Like I was really raring to go, and I came in and I took them a little too lightly, I feel. I don't know about Ace. I felt like I took them a little lightly, and they caught me off guard a few times. I was not real pleased about that. But it's not going to happen again. I was so sickened at the performance that I couldn't even get in them. I could hardly get in the match. I was so sickened at the fact that I was left out to dry. I mean, I left Ace out and dry on the whole thing, and it made me unhappy, to say the least.
Ace.
Well, I want to point out that I'm 1-0 in rap battles with Mr. P-Dogg. So, you know, anytime you're ready, Posey, we can do round 2. But I'm going to say this: I don't agree with the statement that the Get Along Gang defeated hashtag Trending Now, because I don't believe that's what happened. The Get Along Gang defeated Ace Haven because Charles was never able to get into the match. So we were never a tag team in that match. And I feel like tonight the dynamic's going to be completely different because now we know. Now we know what we're doing. We know what we're up against. We know how they're going to be. So the difference is, we're going to get to be a tag team tonight. And when we're a tag team, when you have hashtag Trending Now together, they're going to do what they do best, and that's trend now. And we're going to put them on their backs, and we're going to be the ones with our arms raised tonight. And then we will have defeated the get-along gang, where 2 weeks ago, they just defeated Ace Haven.
I have to ask the question. Shifting topic for just a hair of a second. Ace in particular, you and Posey, whether it be Mike Posey or P-Dogg, you're no strangers, not by any stretch of the imagination. Y'all have faced off against each other in a number of different areas. And now taking this into the realm of tag team competition, and obviously there is a chip on the shoulder from both of you toward Marko Pollock and P-Dogg. I'm sorry, it's a knee-jerk reaction. I have to get that in there. Knowing the history between you and Posey, how much more personal is this match tonight with hashtag trending now versus the GAG?
Well, it's personal. It's personal with the issue with Posey. I've wrestled Posey on and get off again since 2010 when he was a member of Jimmy Rave Approved. And, we've had our battles. He leg dropped me. He landed on my face. He wiped out a few of my teeth. So I've been there. I've done that. And, it's also a redemption type event for us, because if we lose this tag match tonight, I feel like we're going to lose so much steam, and I believe we're going to lose so much of the fans' believability in us, because, they saw us get so close to those tag titles, and we lost. And then we came in against the Get Along Gang last time, and we lost. And I think this is kind of to use a pun, a do or die type situation for hashtag trending now, because we have to win this one more than the Get Along Gang has to. They're just trying to coast at this point in time. They've already proved their point. But we have to prove a point tonight. We have to prove a point tonight that you don't beat the hashtag trending now twice. And that'll also be a point we'll send home to the besties as well by doing this tonight, because, the besties beat us once with a little help from the Aries brothers, and then we had a time limit draw. So they said they weren't able to do it twice. And the Get Along Gang's not going to be able to do it twice either.
Charles, I'll turn to you for one more. I've got to throw this one out there. Knowing what has just been said by Ace and the question that I laid out there to Ace, and knowing the factor that there is a history, does that push you to a different degree to elevate the game a little bit more when you finally do get in to get your hands on a member of the GAG on this match tonight?
Well, yes, but I've known the history between Posey and Ace. Ace has talked about it several times in the locker rooms, and I've seen footage, and so I've known that. And as soon as we saw this matchup, we knew it was going to be something of a must-win, because like Ace said, this is our opportunity, and we cannot squander it. Like, we have to be willing to go all out and give everything we have, and which I feel we do every time we come out there anyways. There's not a night I don't go home where I'm sore from doing anything I can, and I can say the same thing for Ace. But I can promise you we're not going to leave anything out there. Everything's going to be left out there. We're not going to lay it in, and I'm going to get my hands on one of them. Come hell or high water, I will get my hands on one of them.
Shane, I'll shoot to you for the last word on it.
Well, and look, they seem so determined, and rightfully so, that they can beat the beautiful bald besties if they get that opportunity again. And I think they know, instead of, like we spoke last time, maybe looking behind, I think they're looking ahead and knowing what's at stake, an opportunity. And personally, I got to say, Nigel Sherrod and myself tonight taking on the beautiful bald besties in a non-title match. Hopefully we can do the best to soften them up for you.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I want to say first off, thank y'all for taking the time to come on this morning. Greatly appreciated. Want to wish y'all the very best in the tag match later tonight. Wish I could be there, but I will have the DVD in my hands ASAP. That way I'll get a chance to enjoy the match. Real quick, Ace, how can everybody track you down on social media?
You can always find me on Facebook, guys, at The Real Ace Haven. Same with the old Twitter box. And, just drop me a line. I'm pretty accessible, so hit me up there or find me at one of my mini shows. I work, Pro South, Peachstate, GCW. There you go. There's my calendar.
There you go. Charles Zanders, can everybody find you on social?
Charles Zanders on Facebook. I think same on Twitter. I don't get on the Twitter that often. I'll also be at Pro South and GCW and Peachstate, and that's the best way to find me. Just come out and support me. I mean, come out and cheer for me. That's the best way. I'm very approachable. If you see me out walking around, come and talk to me.
Once again, Ace Haven, Charles Zanders, hashtag trending now tonight, taking on the GAG, the Get Along Gang, P-Dogg and Marko at Peachstate Wrestling Alliance at the historic VFW Fairgrounds. We are going to come back, and when we do, we're going to cover the balance of the card. Stay with us, and I'll use the phrase, hashtag trending now has just gone beyond ringside. Hang tight. Shane and I'll be back in just a moment.
This is Country Jack, Corey Hollis, and you are locked in to be...
This is the voice of excellence at Excellent Professional Wrestling at Napa Toolman, Tim Taylor. Usually I'm locked into Excellent Professional Wrestling, but now you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
The To Be Determined show live Wednesday nights, 9 Central Standard Time. Join myself, the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, the Grand Design, Clyde Braddock, and the Magic City Motormouth, Fast Eddie Layne, as we take you to the edge of uncensored. Yes, we go uncensored, so make sure you have your earmuffs. Ask your parents, for those of you that are a little young, maybe under 18, but make sure if you have any heart conditions or any mental defects, please listen, because they may take effect right here live every Wednesday night, 9 Central Standard Time. Beyond Ringside Radio Network, beyondringside.com.
The board is war, and you are locked into Beyond Ringside.
Sunday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern here on BeyondRingside.com. Join us for the Midnight Black Mass. Myself, the Reverend Dan Wilson, brings you the dark gospel of professional wrestling, uncensored, unedited, uncut, and not for the faint of heart. You can find out more about us at youtube.com/pottyhumor or subscribe at Potty Humor on iTunes and Stitcher today.
I'm addictive. I'm expensive. I'm Byron Wilkine. And ladies, Big Daddy Yum Yum is locked in to Beyond Ringside.
2010, after 2 years of constant bullying, 11-year-old Ty Smalley took his own life. In the past 7 years, more than 55,000 children have taken their own lives due to bullying. That's 22 youth suicides every day. Stand for the Silent is a grassroots organization that educates people about the harsh reality of bullying and the devastation it causes, and they need your help. Visit standforthesilent.org to learn how you can get involved and help us to save lives.
I stand for the silent. I stand for the silent.
I stand for the silent.
I stand for the silent.
I stand for the silent. I stand for the silent. I stand for the silent.
I stand for the silent.
I stand for the silent. I stand for the silent.
Chaos ensues. You gotta love it. On the live version, 20 minutes after 12 on the East Coast, 20 after 11 Central, 10 Mountain, 9 Pacific. See, we do cover all time zones here. Fast Eddie Layne live from Studio 1. Shane Noles live from the Peachstate. What's going on, brother?
Oh, man, you spoke of time zones. This was a trivia question that I thought would be a softball that people will miss. I was like, how many time zones are there? And I got all these different answers, and they didn't even think. There's 24.
Yeah.
24-hour day.
People miss that question.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy. Don't get me started.
Well, my favorite answer was 4. And I was like, there's a whole big world out there besides the 4 that you commonly know of.
Well, see, that's the funny part, because the second you asked that question, the first thing popped in my head was, is he talking about the contiguous lower 48, or is he talking about around the circle?
Mm-hmm.
So, without thinking, first thing popped in my head was 24, and then it's like the brain went, wait a minute, is he talking about on the United States, in the North American continent? Because logistically, if my notes were correct, there's actually 5 time zones in the North American continent.
There are. 5. Yeah, I was just saying the 4 that we commonly know. Yeah.
Yeah. The lower 48 we have 4, but you add Alaska to the mix going up into Canada and BC. Yeah, there's an additional time zone. And don't forget, you can see Russia from your back porch. I will never forget that to save my. There's some things in this world you can't unsee, and there's some things you can't unhear. Really,
and there's some things you can't ever untouch, and you're forever unclean. Sorry, that was a League reference TV show.
Yeah. Special thank you to Ace Haven and Zanders, also known as hashtag trending now, for coming on board. And by the way, kids, real quick, you heard him make the reference. Of course, you can catch him quite often at Pro South Wrestling on Friday night, 627 Southern Avenue in Piedmont, Alabama. Tonight, you can catch him Peachstate Wrestling Alliance in Carrollton, Georgia. And on Saturday, the 27th, you can catch him in Pell City, Alabama with Global Championship Wrestling for the first round of the JYD Memorial Tag Team Tournament. Let's take a quick look at the balance of the card. Speaking of tonight in Carrollton, Georgia, of course, my tag team partner Shane Noles in tag team action along with Nigel Sherrod taking on the current tag team champions. I know it's non-title, but you can always look forward to the shot in and of itself when I'm talking about the beautiful bald besties. Shane, your thoughts on the match?
Well, and what I spoke of about Ace and Charles, something that really made me think, I talked to Nigel and I said, you and I have not been putting in any work together. We've been doing it solo, so we actually had the opportunity last weekend. Here's some inside information. We met in Athens, Georgia, his hometown. Actually got a chance to work in and around the ring for a good 2 or 3 hours. So I feel like there's going to be some better cohesiveness between Nigel and myself tonight, seconded to the ring by the Wicked Nemesis. And, I hope the besties don't take us too lightly, because they won the tag team titles. They had a little mini vacay. They were not there January 30th. Coming back tonight is a non-title situation. And I know they are cocky as all get out, and rightfully so, but don't sleep on Shane and Nigel.
Now, I've got to ask the question, and this is one that's got to go out there. You're making a reference to getting some ring time together, being able to work out together, and being able to get a little bit more of the timing down and figure out exactly what your comfort zone is to a great degree. When you're going up against a combination that is as in the combination of the Bald Besties, the 3 B's. I keep wanting to say B3, B cubed is what I'm trying to say. That's it. B to the 3rd power. I always try to make things more difficult than they have to be, and that's just in my wiring. That will never change. But when you get a chance to go against a team like that, and you know what they're capable of, do you often find yourself second-guessing as far as the strategies go?
Yeah, because a lot of people still have the misconception that the besties are all about glitz and glamour. They do wear some very loud ring gear to the ring, but once the bell starts, Michael Stevens and Zach Edwards, they didn't win tag team or best tag team / stable of the year for 2015 based on their ring gear or their appearance. Those guys can get in the ring and mix it up. That even more so prompted me to tell Nigel, we really need to get some time together because we're behind the 8 ball with these two.
Yeah, and this is something you got to give credit, and it's definitely due. I remember the tag team tournament and the besties making 3 appearances. Folks, for those who sit back and make the comment that to be identified as a tag team, you have to have matching gear. Well, guess what? They came out for 3 different matches in 3 different outfits and matched. So, yeah, can't complain about that in the least. They looked like a tag team all the way through. Now,
yes, sir. Shades of Randy Savage in WrestleMania 4.
Yeah, I know. You come out for as many matches as you've got different ring gear. That says something right there. But by the same token, that often and always does come with tenure and experience. So as time goes on and you build in that particular regard with the identification factor, you do have a chance and the opportunity and the money to buy additional gear. So that works wonders. Let's take a look at it real quick. Mixed tag team match in the main event. AJ Steele and Pandora versus Tommy Too Much and America Strong. We had a chance to really dissect this match, and in my book right now, the wild card is the mercenary America Strong in this match. Tommy Too Much, you know that there is nothing that he won't do. In other words, he will do anything to pick up a win. From that vantage point, you look on the opposite side of the ring, you've got the Black Rainbow, calm like a bomb Pandora, and the real deal AJ Steele, the juggernaut, the tank. and you know that they are going to be set for every gear possible in this match. Your thoughts and the handicap on this one?
Yeah, I tried to look back through the record books and see if there had been a mixed tag at Peachstate. And there was one with Micah Taylor and Tracy Taylor, but that's been 6 years ago. And so this isn't something that's customary on the card, and it's created that type of excitement of a big fight feel. And America Strong, for all of her prowess as a ringside enforcer, she's got to lace up the boots, and that's Pandora's avenue right there. I think I'm preaching to the choir here, but for our listeners, Pandora is a well-seasoned vet inside the squared circle. And in my opinion, for America Strong, there's a big difference in attacking someone from behind when you're not an active participant, as opposed to lacing up the boots and getting in there and grappling. Imagine that term, grappling. In the ring with someone that, yeah, Tommy Too Much will pull out all the stops. Yeah, this match, and I've made the reference before, all tags are legal. I mean, if Pandora's in there and Tommy Too Much is the legal person, she'll wrestle him. Same thing with America Strong and AJ Steele. So chaos could ensue.
Yeah, and I know for fact that there is probably quite a bit of not necessarily hidden resentment from the direction of AJ Steele to the direction of America Strong, because I remember when AJ and Tommy Too Much took each other on, and I'm sure AJ Steele feels the crack in the family jewels from the multiple shots from America. So I think there's going to be a score to settle on that one too. Let him get his hands on her. It could get dangerous.
Yeah, it is. You know, AJ Steele was the big free agent acquisition of Peachstate. In his debut, he and Tommy Too Much had a phenomenal 20-minute match. But AJ Steele was a loser in his debut, and I know that still eats at him to even the score with Tommy Too Much.
No Limits title on the line this evening. Kevin Blue defending against Drew Adler.
I've said it on social media, Eddie. In my opinion, this match is going to be the show stealer. I think Drew Adler and Kevin Blue, two very good talents. Two guys similar in appearance, both of them ranging between 6'2" and 6'3", about 240 pounds, 230, very lengthy, and both have such a versatile skill set. And I know they probably had experience against each other in NWA Anarchy, now known as Why We Wrestled. At Peachstate, no one's seen these two against each other. And what I said about hashtag trending now, looking back, I got to wonder on Kevin Blue. I mean, he won that No Limits title November 7th against P-Dogg. He had the requested time off for a child he and Laura, his wife, had. Congratulations to them. But because you know this, Eddie, in any realm we speak about mixed martial arts, boxing, and wrestling, when you get to the top, you know what it took to get you to the top. If you've been off 3 months, you can't help it. There's got to be some sort of ring rust, and Drew Adler's hungry, and that's why I'm saying this one has very dynamic potential to be.
A match tonight that a lot of people may be overlooking, but you should never overlook this circumstance because of the fact you've got the crown jewel, Jimmy Rave. And I guess I have to say at this point, the former Heritage Champion, taking on one of the most legitimately unpredictable and dangerous competitors in the realm of pro wrestling in Simon Sermon tonight. This is a match. I'm going to sit back and say this. With all due respect to everybody on the card tonight, this is going to be one for various reasons why I will say don't blink. We know Rave. We know Sermon. In the southeastern U.S., you've got two of the most prolific personalities out there for various reasons. A lot of people underestimate Simon Sermon, and that is the biggest mistake you can make. If Jimmy Rave, and I'm going to handicap in this particular regard, if Jimmy Rave underestimates Simon Sermon for 1 second and tries to look past to regaining the Heritage Championship, Simon Sermon can hand him a major defeat tonight. By the same token, Simon Sermon, you know, approaches with a very solid attitude. It doesn't matter from what side of the locker room he's coming out, so to speak, or from he's emerging. Delayed reaction there. Sorry, kids. But you know.
I must have been in that fifth time zone.
There you go. I can see Paris from my balcony. You can see Tijuana from the Donkey Show. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Yes, he finally said the phrase, thanks for playing, now drink. But as far as it goes, Simon Sermon, Jimmy Rave, this will be a don't blink match. Shane, your thoughts?
I've heard the advisor to the Georgia Athletic Commission, Bill Behrens, who is overseeing the upcoming PWA Heritage Title Tournament. We'll get more into that, but he had floated it out there on his social media that this match between Simon Sermon and Jimmy Rave will have implications going forward in the PWA Heritage Title Tournament. So, I mean, my mind begins to wonder, does it mean the loser is out and not an entrant in the field, or does the winner of this match get certain concessions to him? I mean, Bill was very vague in what he said, but he'll have that announcement tonight. But I hate to keep going to the well one too many times, as the late Gorilla Monsoon said, but I hope Jimmy Rave is not looking back at, that heritage title. I won't say it was taken from him, but it's been held up. And Simon Sermon's a guy who, on any given night, he can beat anyone, as you so rightfully said, in the business, because once Simon emerges from the curtain, I mean, he's one tough customer. And talk about a styles clash with these two. I'll be very curious to see the dynamic and the strategy at play between these two competitors.
I'm going to ask this question, and I have to throw this one out there. You have the man known as the Oracle of Ominous, the architect of intellect, and the necessary evil, the wicked nemesis, in your and Nigel's corner this evening. How much of a factor? Better yet, hold that thought. I'm going to shift it on the fly, so to speak. How aware do the besties need to be as it pertains to the wicked nemesis tonight in your corner?
I can say Wick was very on board on Nigel and I getting together this past weekend and working out, because, as he said, he can only do so much. And I have to make this joke. I've joked to him before. The architect of intellect, the Oracle of Ominous, and the necessary evil, he's getting more monikers than Apollo Creed, if you remember that joke.
There I do.
But, there's only so much he can do with guidance and input, and the rest of it's left up to Nigel and I. But on the fly, if there needs to be a moment, bring the band together for a huddle, Wick is, his intellect, he's so sharp at thinking on the fly during a match, because you get to thinking you're in the corner or you're in the match, whether you're tag teaming or the legal man. He's seeing everything. He's seeing how the temperature in the room, so to speak, how it's playing out. So his insight and guidance could pay huge dividends this evening. And I don't take that lightly, because when I got together with Wick, he has helped me in not only one but two victories over Simon Sermon. And I knew that was the necessary evil, and you've got to play ball, so to speak, with these guys on their terms.
And, of course, you just heard from him a little while ago. Tonight, hashtag trending now. Haven Zanders taking on P-Dogg and Marko. Tag team action at Peachstate. Shane?
Looking forward to that one. Like I said, I think the winner of that one, I don't know Bill Behrens' thoughts, but I think the winner, I certainly think if it's the get-along gang, they would have to be next in line for the PWA Tag Team title shot. If you beat Trending Now twice, a team that was in the finals of the tournament, where is there to go but up? But for Trending Now, a chance at redemption. It'd be very fun to see how this plays out, and it's not the same tag teams like they spoke of. Zanders was not able to get into the match. Mike Posey, P-Dogg wasn't even in this match. They're not facing CB Suave and Marko, so it's kind of the free birds, the old demolition rule. You're going to be facing different members with, different skill sets.
Wish I could be there. And for our friends around the southeastern U.S., definitely check it out tonight. The historic VFW Fairgrounds in Carrollton, Peachstate Wrestling Alliance. Shane, give everybody the rundown. Ticket availability and how much tonight?
Oh, man, ticket availability is getting scarce, Eddie. Front row ringside is sold out. Front row on the stage is sold out. Second row on the stage is sold out. Late last night, we had to open up second row on the floor, ringside, so to speak, for reservation. Those have been going today, and it's going to be a packed house tonight. But general admission ticket, adults, $10. Children ages 6 and under get in free with a parent or with an adult paid admission. Bell time is at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 Central. Doors open. Doors open at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, with a bell time of 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 Central, at the fairgrounds, 1625 Bankhead Highway, Carrollton, Georgia.
It's going to be a great night. Now, real quick, before we head in a different direction, I will go and throw this one out there. For those who have missed some of the action at Peachstate, DVD is available, right?
Absolutely, PeachstateWrestlingAlliance.com. The January 16th event will be on sale tonight, as well as the January 30th event tonight at Peach State. Fresh, hot off the press.
It's going to be a great night, and trust me, you will enjoy yourself, and I mean that from the heart on that one. It's a great weekend all the way across the board. I do want to go ahead and I've got to ask. We started to make a reference to it a little while ago, and we kind of brought it out, so to speak, as it pertains to what all's on the line this weekend in the Daytona 500. The lineup is set. Everything's in place. Truck race last night, Xfinity race later this afternoon, and you've got everything in place for the Daytona 500. And my dad asked me the most unique question when he and I were speaking. How many times do these guys need to practice?
Exactly. We're up to happy hour number 3.
And normally by happy hour 3, that means I'm calling a cab.
Shades of the Lake Foster Brook.
Yes, that's exactly where that came from. Except I didn't do the creative hiccup stutter because okay, folks, I'm gonna go and throw this one out there. And Shane, thank you for the setup. One of my favorite people in the world of comedy over the years is a gentleman by the name of Foster Brooks. This man 9 times out of 10 was stone cold sober as a brick. But when he got up to take the microphone, he flipped that little switch and you would swear that he had just polished off a fifth of brandy. I'm not kidding. Mannerisms, the look, the delivery, the verbiage, the way he handled himself and carried himself was absolutely one of the most comedic and one of the most genuinely homegrown funny things that I have ever seen anybody do. And he was just a class act all the way across the board. You know, you hear people in the world of entertainment that will have quiet little nuances of someone's personality to try to cast dispersions on them. I've never heard anyone say a disparaging comment in the direction of Foster Brooks. I mean, have you?
No, not at all. And I was just thinking what a delight he was on those old Dean Martin comedy roasts. Foster Brooks, to me, was the attraction. When I go back and watch him now, I'm glad. Well, of course, you know, those who say we're skewering older, for you younger listeners, there's Google, kids. There's YouTube.
There's
you can
YouTube.
see clips of Foster Brooks and understand exactly why we're hailing him as a comedic genius.
Well, I look at it like this, and this is my genuine perspective on it, and this is for our younger listeners out there. The times have changed, and I realize that, and I don't live in the past. I visit there every once in a while because it makes a great rest area. Trust me, it makes a great break in the day. Because when, in younger days, when the Dean Martin celebrity roasts were on, you had top-tier A-list celebrities coming out to do these things. Not like the Comedy Central roasts of someone where you may get 1 or 2 top tiers, and everybody else is like, whose ass can I kiss to get a spot on this show? And that's legit. That's a shoot. I don't care what anybody says. So if you want to see the predecessor, and you have to be able to genuinely understand comedy as far as the roast, not as a tasteful roast and insult fest goes, not some of the trash you hear on Comedy Central, go back and look up the Dean Martin Celebrity Roast. You'll find some of them on YouTube, on Daily Motion. Check them out. I will sit back and say, if you genuinely appreciate comedy, you will appreciate these videos. And get the DVD set. It's worth it. I have it, and it was worth every damn dime. Anything else you'd like to add on that one, Shane?
Yeah, I was going to say, and one member of those Dean Martin Celebrity Roasts still with us, still performing at 88 years old, Mr. Warmth.
Yes.
Don Rickles. Every time he's on late night, I don't care if it's Fallon. Yeah, well, I started to say Letterman and Leno. Those are gone now. If it's Conan or Colbert, I always DVR and make sure I watch it because in his 5 to 10 minute segment, he's funnier than most comedians are in an hour and 30.
I'll drink to that. I will. And notice 9 times out of 10, he does keep it PG. He doesn't have to resort. He can go blue at the drop of a hat, but he doesn't have to.
Well, that's what I like. Yeah, Don is always with the innuendos or he's just about to step over that line and he pulls it back. He wants you, the audience, to catch what he's saying. He doesn't have to put it out there for you.
Exactly. Taking a look at it real quick. How big do you think Jeff Gordon's smiling right now that Chase Elliott and the number 24 car is actually sitting on the pole for Daytona?
Oh, I brought this up earlier, conspiracy theories, Eddie. I've heard those at my shoot job all week, and I'll just say, of course, I'm not going to name drop people that I work with, but say it like this. Well, you know when Gordon quit and he's going to be in the announcer's booth, that 24 car is going to get the pole because they need a story, and he's Bill Elliott's son, a two-time Daytona 500 winner. And I just cut him off. I said, Chase Elliott is not in that car at 20 years old because he's Bill Elliott's son. He's in that car at 20 years old because of the accolades he's already accrued.
Yes.
In motor racing. And I mean, for those that only follow the Sprint Cup Series at the, the highest of levels, maybe that's foreign policy to them, or they, they don't know that. But Google, I always say, if you don't know it, Google. Good Lord, it's made the world so much smaller. But,
yes.
I mean, it really has. Remember, you used to have those debates at dinner or at a bar, like, well, I wonder who did this or who played that. And you had to do something called Wonder. We don't do that anymore because then we just hand out the smartphone, the tablet, the laptop, so to speak, and we find it out. And but anyway, Chase Elliott, Jeff Gordon, you could see how excited he was because, I mean, this isn't like Gordon's been gone from, been out of a ride 15 years like, say, Darrell Waltrip. Jeff Gordon has a huge connection to Hendrick Motorsports with Rick Hendrick. I mean, that's his car. And I think I kind of got this sentiment with Jeff during qualifying. I got it during the Unlimited exhibition race as well as the Gatorade Duels. Jeff Gordon still wants to be in the car in his mind. I think he still knows he could go out there and compete at the highest of levels. Heck, he made the Final Four of the Chase last year. But the back and the rest of his body tells him otherwise. That's just the sentiment that I got. But I think, how could he not be proud for the guy? And, I mean, who knows? I mean, for some that say, well, them youngins can't win it, I point you back within the last 5 years. Trevor Bayne, 21 years old, Daytona 500 winner. It could happen.
Wood Brothers, yeah. Very, very easily. And now here's the one thing that we left out of that part of the conversation was the factor of Rick Hendrick, the owner of Team Hendrick Motorsports. When Rick sees something in somebody, it doesn't always, even though there is a driving force called money, it doesn't always have to do with the dollar signs because it doesn't always have to do with the immediate dollar signs. The 24 car is a bankable brand regardless and will be because of what Jeff Gordon has meant to that number. Jeff Gordon could have just as easily said, I want to retire that number for now, give it a couple of years, but no. And Rick Hendrick could have retired that number for a couple of years, kind of like Richard Childress did the 3 out of respect for Dale Sr. The fact of the matter stands. You have a great, and I want to say second, but it may actually be third, generation driver. This kid has the world potential on the Cup Series level. The 24 is in good hands with Chase Elliott. And I can only imagine when tomorrow fires up and you hear the command and Chase flips those switches to fire that car up and they cross that start-finish line to kick off that race, how big the grin on awesome Bill from Dawsonville is going to be. His son is on the pole for the Daytona 500. That's a feeling that a lot of people will never really genuinely understand if you're not a true motorsports fan. It's like if you have a child who starts on the pole for the Brickyard, the Indy 500, Daytona, and I'll put Talladega in that mix because Talladega, the wild card of NASCAR, so to speak. And that's putting it nicely. Or it's like if you've got game 1 of the World Series and you've got a child who is on the mound for either team starting pitcher. There's always a pride from parents and family and inner circle of friends. It's like, they made it. He's on the pole for the Daytona 500. It's like, congratulations, Chase Elliott. Dude, I'm smiling for you and with you. Best of luck tomorrow. And, my heart's going to be pulling for Dale Jr. And look, I'll sit back and say this, kids. If there was a real conspiracy theory in play, and Shane will echo me on this one, knowing the fact that this was supposed to be his final season in NASCAR full-time as an active driver, if there was a conspiracy genuinely in place, Brian Vickers and the number 14 car would be sitting on the pole right now. Right, Shane?
Absolutely.
And once again, as always, thoughts and prayers going out to Tony and his family. I'm hoping for a full and very speedy and very complete recovery for his back. It's gotta hurt when you announce the fact that this is going to be your final full-time season in NASCAR, and all of a sudden something happens at another track in another venue and another type of car, and you mess yourself up for the Daytona for the Great American Race, the Daytona 500. I can only imagine what's going through Tony's mind right now. Shane?
Oh, and I got to say this for those that may be a little late to the game with NASCAR, still new fans coming in every year. The criticism of Tony Stewart, they said even to have the audacity to race another race in a different model car when you're a sprint car owner and this is your final season. Folks, and I don't know if Eddie's experienced this, but certainly he knows that it's taken place. There's been many times over the years where I don't just go to the Talladega Sprint Cup race on Sunday. I go to the dirt track races on Friday. Yeah. You know who I see there? I saw Bill Elliott. I see Tony Stewart. I saw Ken Schrader. I saw Kyle Petty. Guys that were in the same boat as Tony Stewart, competing at the highest of levels just 2 days later, but they love wrestling. They love racing. I was going to make that point about wrestlers. Some were saying about AJ Styles, how could you come do the show in Canton, Georgia 2 weeks ago against Corey Hollis, an independent show? Dude, you just debuted at the Royal Rumble. Because wrestling at any level, just like auto racing at any level, if you've got that level of commitment and you love it, like what Zanders and Ace Haven, it's their life, it's not an easy switch to cut off. Of course, when the injury happens, that's when all the catcallers come out and start criticizing that decision. I guarantee you if he had not got hurt and he had won a couple of those races like that, the narrative would have changed to, boy, Smoke looks determined this year. Better watch out.
Understand that concept. Do me a favor. Let's go. I know we said we're going to go straight to the top of the hour. Can we take a short one?
Sure.
Okay, folks, hang tight. We'll be right back on the Shooter's Gallery. Where's the mouse at? It's over here. It's right after this.
This is Super Cop Dick Justice, America's favorite wrestler, American-born hero. And right now, like a stiff bear hug, you are locked into Beyond Ringside.
Howdy, friends. This is the Magic City Motormouth, Fast Eddie Layne, with your invitation to join yours truly, along with Mark Mabo Bowman and the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, every Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific, for Beyond Ringside Live. Wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, and a whole lot more. Keep your eyes open on BeyondRingside.com for all of upcoming show information, and of course, catch us on social media as well. Until then, we'll see you this Sunday, 6:30 Eastern, for Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
Hi, this is Shane Noles of the Peachstate Wrestling Alliance, and right now you are locked and loaded, listening live to Beyond Ringside.
When planning your next party or special event, insist on the best. Full Range Entertainment is a professional entertainment company providing a full range of services. From professional disc jockeys and MCs to catering and photography, when the details of your special day must be perfect, call us first. Wedding receptions, corporate parties, school functions, birthday celebrations, and more. We also have Birmingham's largest selection of karaoke tracks available. With over 40 years combined experience, Full Range Entertainment can provide you with the talent and professionalism you need and deserve to make your next event one you'll never forget. For more information on the full range of services we offer, call 533-HITS. That's 533-HITS. Or check us out on our website at fullrangeentertainment.com.
This is Bullet Bob Armstrong. I'm Southern born, Southern bred, and I never miss Beyond Ringside.
What's up, everybody? This is Jimmy Rave, and you're listening to the only Jimmy Rave approved radio show. You're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Was I correct in the quote from off air a second ago, or did I miss it and go the wrong direction?
No, it was perfectly right on time.
Let's take it back in. Is the sun still up? Put it on the right. I don't know why. Every once in a while, it's like, I'll find the most obscure movie quotes running through my head. Of course, there's mornings I will get up and I will go look in the mirror, and the first thing pops in my head is Paul Williams. A legend and an out-of-work bum look a lot alike, Daddy. I'm not out of work. Look, there are some great movies. Put it this way. There are some really good movies out there. And no, I haven't seen Deadpool yet, kids. I've been trying to get there. I'm actually going to try to find a way to go Tuesday night after Back to Basics, depending on what time the Amstar has it going. Normally the Amstar has a good late movie, so That is the reason why I have not read my news feed in the last week. Because more so than on the new Star Wars movie or the latest Star Wars movie, I'm seeing people putting comment after comment after comment about Deadpool. So it's kind of like scroll, not just close it. I don't want to see it. Close it. Why do we feel the incessant urge? I know we want to talk about things, but why do people want to feel the urge to go into incessant detail about something? Kind of like pro wrestling show spoilers for WWE and Impact. Shane?
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, if we didn't have DVRs, especially with wrestling, I'd get it. Because if this was, like in the Monday Night Wars, I would have to tape it with an actual tape, a VHS. If you didn't set that recorder or press the R button while you were home, you didn't get it. So I could understand spoilers for those like, man, we didn't get a chance to watch it. There's no way to record this stuff. You have to think back 1995 through 2001. And, with no replay. But now with DVRs, why would you ever give away spoilers? I just don't get it. I mean, I can actually, if I forget to set the DirecTV DVR at my house, I can be 2 hours away. There's a DirecTV app on my phone. Whoop, record it.
Yeah. And I have the Charter app, so if I forget something, I can actually pull up my phone or pull up my tablet and actually set it to record.
Something we did on the Shooters Gallery about 2 months ago, moments in time, if they were, affected with social media, I'm just going to rehash that, revisit that, and think about, my gosh, if we had the capability with DVRs during the Monday Night Wars. Because remember having to do channel within a channel or flip the channel and wait for that 3-second delay? Hurry up and show the picture already.
I was actually a weird one in that regard because I had 2 televisions and 2 VCRs and 2 cable lines running my stuff.
Of course you did.
I'm not kidding. As I sound like Peter Brady on estrogen.
I just spit out my drink on that one. Sorry.
When it's
time.
Time.
Peter Brady episode. Oh, my God.
When
it's the sunshine day. You wrote the sun earlier, don't you?
Yeah, and actually in the song that it happened on, When It's Time to Change. Okay. I think I've hit puberty 63 times in a 50-year life. But, and thank God nobody... Nope. 2 people in Poughkeepsie, somebody in Southern California, and somebody in Texas and Oklahoma just said, yeah, that's what she said. Okay.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, if we were bringing up puberty 63 times in 50 years, I'm thinking, besides the voice?
Say it again?
Oh, that's what I was thinking. My thoughts had drifted to when you said you had reached puberty 63 times in a 50-year span. I was like, ooh, besides the voice changing too?
There you go. You never know what we're going to see.
Worms is open, kids. Yep. This is what's for lunch today.
If she wasn't on the card tonight, and I'd be so remiss and killed probably for saying it like this. Hello, Pandora. How's your box? But no relation to her. It's just the phrase. But now that Calm Like a Bomb is a part of our collective lives, I can't use that phrase anymore. I did that in a locker room one time, and she was standing 10 feet behind me. It's like, what'd you say? I said, not you.
I was going to say that straight out of Brooklyn accent came. What'd you say, baby?
We're gonna do the Beetlejuice thing and actually end up he'll be calling in a minute. But anytime on the TBD show, Wick and Angie will start breaking into a Pandora impression.
I was going to say, if we reach out for our handbook of not of the recently deceased, but the recently mentioned, Wick might appear.
There you go. So it's like Beetlejuice, and okay, never mind. I'm looking at the Skype line to see if it activates. But
I have to tell you this for the listeners too. This would be a good little pun. When we were at the Days of the Dead convention 2 weeks ago, that I shared on the air, got the opportunity to meet Heather Langenkamp, Elvira, Ric Flair, among others. Tony Todd, who portrayed Candyman, and I think it's a trilogy. I only remember the first, the Candyman films. But he had been scheduled for Days of the Dead the last 2 years and was a no-show. And there was a guy in the lobby of the Sheraton saying, you know what, I wonder if we say Tony Todd's name 3 times, he's going to show up this year. And did I lost it.
Lord. Now, if you were not working tonight, what would be the game to watch?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, I know during the day, college basketball, there is Miami and the University of Miami and the University of North Carolina.
Right. That was
ACC battle. I think it's off in about an hour.
I thought. Now, I know Duke and Louisville are on right now. Damn, it's getting me again. No, Duke and Louisville are on right now, and then Baylor and Texas are on ESPN. ESPN2 right now is Pittsburgh at Syracuse at 1 o'clock Central Time. Georgia Vanderbilt's currently the game on ESPN2, and I'm trying to figure out when. Because I thought it was supposed to be a 12:30 start, 12:30 Central, 1:30 Eastern start time for Miami and North Carolina. And that is actually, depending on who you're looking at, still going to be a battle of either I'll just say top 15 teams. Because I know the coaches poll, if I remember correctly, had Miami at number 10, North Carolina at 4. The AP top 25 had Miami of Florida at number 11 and North Carolina at number 5. So it's still a battle of top 15 superpowers right now, but the way that this college basketball season has been, that can change at the drop of a hat.
Exactly. I mean, it's a revolving door. We looked at it again. Everyone was giving Duke a hard time, and rightfully so, for falling out of the top 25 for the first time in 8 years. They come right back, win 4 in a row, and then defeat number 2 North Carolina at Chapel Hill Wednesday night. Ugh.
Yeah.
Can't tell.
Games that are currently live right now, all the way through Florida at Georgia. Let's see. I was trying to get updates. Halftime, Duke's leading Louisville 37-29. 58 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Number 8 Xavier is leading Georgetown by 1 from that vantage point, and actually it is in 3 minutes on CBS. Number 11 ranked Miami taking on number 5 ranked North Carolina. Baylor and Texas taking on each other a little bit later today. Lone Star battle. From that vantage point, Butler and Villanova at 1:30 Central Time. And a game that I'm actually curious to watch because I would like to see this one in its entirety. Number 3 ranked Oklahoma taking on number 10 ranked West Virginia. And that's, that's going to be on.
I'm a big fan of Buddy Hield for Oklahoma. And I always enjoy getting a chance to watch him play. I think the fact I respect him is the kid came back for his senior season. A player of that caliber, you don't see that in college basketball anymore. But yeah, Bob Huggins, man, he's got the Mountaineers playing well over in West Virginia.
I have to ask the question, even though he's not aged well the last couple of years, is Dick Vitale the man that time forgot in basketball?
In reference to, you mean his appearance or?
His energy and his enthusiasm and the way he carries himself.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, time forgot as far as not acting his age. Yeah, I think
that too.
He's north of 75 now.
Yeah.
And this is another one we're going to bust for young ones here that may not remember this. Vicky V has not always been an analyst for ESPN.
Nope.
He was a head coach of the Detroit Pistons in the NBA.
That is correct.
And, but all my life, and I mean, I'm creeping very close to 40, I mean, he's been doing diaper dandies, PTP or primetime players, need a TO, baby. I mean, you listen to Dick Vitale now, and you listen to Dick Vitale in 1996, 1991, 2000, 1984, the same passion and enthusiasm. Nothing's changed.
One of the shows was asking the question yesterday, whose career would you rather have, Tim Duncan or Kobe Bryant? I'll turn the question on you.
Are we talking just on the court?
I would say professionally speaking in the National Basketball Association, yes. Not when
depending on your actual id, your psychosis, your personality. If you enjoy the limelight, Kobe Bryant. If you want all eyes on me, Kobe Bryant. If you want the reputation, Kobe Bryant. And I'm not saying this has nothing to do with a basketball skill, but I mean, if you're low key, if you're an introvert, if you like to just go about your business and don't want your name mentioned, I'd say Tim Duncan. Because as far as on the court, with championships, I started to say MVPs. Kobe, wrongfully so, the most valuable player throughout his career, in my opinion. But Tim Duncan has won a couple of finals MVPs. They both had their moments in all-star games. That's a very good comparison. as far as I can't think of two different people in that same era. One that has always had the bright lights of Showtime in L.A. and one the low class. I mean, not low class. Excuse me. My apologies.
The profile.
The low profile. Thank you, of Tim Duncan. But and you bring this point up, Eddie, about that. I was thinking the other day about people of this generation. Steve Nash is now gone. Kobe Bryant will be gone at the end of this season. With each and every passing year, you know it's coming with Tim Duncan. Kevin Garnett, I think he's going to hang it up at the end of this year. And that's getting close to, I mean, Paul Pierce, same thing. We're getting close to what I'm trying to get at. We're getting very close to where there's not going to be an NBA player that was playing in the decade of the 1990s.
Right.
Because once Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Dirk Nowitzki, Tim Duncan, Kobe are all gone, it's going to be the new century. That was kind of made me think that, like, wow, some of these guys really have been playing. They were playing a decade before MySpace, you know.
I know we're at the top of the hour, and I know that you've got show day in front of you. Do you need to go ahead and start heading for the Radio Ranch, or do we have a few minutes to play with?
I've got about 10 minutes, yeah.
Cool. Tell you what, I'm going to swerve with this question. Based on everything that has been discussed as far as possible trades and people who would benefit from a trade or teams that would benefit from a trade, I'm just going to lay this one out there because my favorite name in the whole wide world, and yes, I'm being sarcastic as hell when I say it, in your opinion, how is Dwight Howard overrated?
Yes. In a simple term, yes. And you were talking about the trade deadline that passed Thursday at 3 o'clock. I think it speaks volumes that no one took Dwight Howard because Houston, it was painfully obvious when they were, I mean, you hardly ever see a team trying to stir up trade negotiations. It's always a bevy of suitors coming to that franchise. They wanted Dwight out of town, and they couldn't get enough for him.
And this is something that I'm going to be a complete jerk about. When Howard was in Orlando, he was good. And then all of a sudden, it started to shift. And I saw the writing on the wall and this is my personal opinion. Not the host of Beyond Ringside, even though that comes across as the same thing. In this particular regard, this is my personal opinion. When he was creating the clamor to get him out of Orlando, I saw it as manufactured, not organic. There wasn't the organic buzz about, ooh, it's a lottery circumstance. He's a free agent. Who's going to jump on him? When he came to the Los Angeles Lakers, a team that I publicly supported ever since I was a kid, right along with the Atlanta Hawks. I've been to Hawks games, and I've watched Hawks Lakers play. Nice. But I didn't make it for this one. I'm really pissed. Tickets were impossible to get.
Oh, I know.
I would have had to have won the $1.6 million Powerball or $1 billion Powerball and probably spent half of it on the tickets. But legitimately speaking, when he came to Los Angeles, I cringed. And when everything started to unfold, I really cringed. And then I realized all over again, it's like there is too much hype and hyperbole and not enough substance to the play. And when he left to go to Houston, I'm going, well, there goes that neighborhood. Look, I have a lot of respect for the Rockets organization, especially James Harden. See, there's the big difference there. When Harden was free agent, there was buzz, organic buzz. Because you can only protect so many players on your roster in the NBA. But, and I knew in my gut that when they brought in Dwight Howard, first off, I went, thanks for leaving LA. Bye. Now my Lakers can get back to having one glory hog. Hi, Kobe. I'm a Kobe fan, don't get me wrong. But truth is truth. No, and I'm sitting back going, I'm watching some of the shows. I'm watching Mike and Mike. I'm watching Dan Patrick. I'm listening to Levitard. And I'm hearing what they're saying, and it's like, this isn't organic. This is like, yeah, how badly does how badly does the Houston franchise want to get rid of Dwight Howard? And obviously, the only thing left to do is let the contract run out, pay him the money, and cut him. And that's sad because...
But it's sad because Dwight Howard, through his agent, said, I want a max deal at the end of this year. And teams met that with a skepticism of, really? Which I'm sure was not the words they used. There was expletives in there. But a 30-year-old aging center whose position is being taken away. And that's not any fault of Dwight Howard. Don't misunderstand me. But the center position is not even on the NBA All-Star ballot anymore. You see the game going smaller. So it's not a hot commodity. But on top of that, you're 30 years old with a bad back, chronic knees, terrible attitude, been called a clubhouse cancer, and you want a max deal? Good luck, buddy.
I've never, sorry, and I'm going to get heat for this, at Fast Eddie Layne, Layne on Twitter. I'll put that out there 7 days a week. I've never felt that Dwight Howard was worth the money. Never.
No, and you brought up the associated talk shows. I always reference Pardon the Interruption. That's one I get to catch in between Shoot Job and Trivia. PTI, they brought up a very good point and said Kobe Bryant, you know, who helped mend fences between Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal was Dwight Howard. Because after that 1 year in L.A., that's when I mended fences. And Kobe's like, you know, I really didn't appreciate how good I had it until I didn't. And it was like, well, thank you, Dwight Howard. You've made one good contribution.
Yeah. Okay. See, I didn't know that occurred. So that's news to me, and thank you for telling me. But I don't know. It's just enough to drive one crazy. But folks, tell you what, you heard him say it a second ago, and we're going to go ahead and start making our exit toward the door. I'm going to go ahead and lay this one out there. Actually, you know what I'm about to do. Friends and family, you know what time it is, and I'm going to turn it to the man himself first. Shane Noles, last call. It's yours.
Oh, last call. Come out and join us at Peachstate Wrestling Alliance tonight. The card has already been covered. There's nothing more that can be said with hyperbole. We can only wait for the bell to ring and the entrance to get into the squared circle. And then tomorrow, big day on the docket. I mean, there's NBA basketball. There's the Great American Race, the Super Bowl of racing as it kicks off the 2016 NASCAR season, the Daytona 500, and strategically timed will also be the Fastlane pay-per-view, the road to WrestleMania. And I hope and pray to God we have some semblance of a WrestleMania card coming out of the network special tomorrow.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. We're only 6 weeks away. No time to be putting any long-time investment.
No.
And also, I have been invited by my tag team partner, Eddie Layne, to come on board with tomorrow night. And I think we'll be dropping the entire 16-man field for the upcoming PWA Heritage Title Tournament, which will start Saturday, March the 5th, and conclude Saturday, May the 16th. It will span just like a normal March Madness bracket, folks. There's going to be a round of 16, quarterfinals, semifinals, and a final. And very curious tonight. I know Bill Behrens will be announcing some of those names, and then the rest I will procure from him at the conclusion of the event and debut tomorrow night Beyond Ringside Radio.
Looking forward to it. 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 Central, 3:30 Pacific time. I believe you said you're going to come on board around 6 o'clock, about the top of the hour, right?
Sounds good to me. Yes, sir.
7 Eastern, 6 Central. And looking forward to it. Of course, Sundays, Beyond Ringside Live, yours truly, alongside of Mark Mabo Bowman, and occasionally the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis. Looking forward to have a little fun, getting ready for Fastlane tomorrow night. Anything else on the docket?
I was going to say, if the Daytona 500, Fastlane, and NBA basketball, college basketball does not interest you, and even if it does, do what Eddie Layne's going to try to do late Tuesday night. Squeeze in an hour 50 of your time and go see Deadpool. You will not regret it. And I got to bring this up beforehand. Deadpool is not a family-friendly film.
Amen.
I don't know how much harder that has to get out there. And I saw a great thing on Twitter where a parent was like, I had to pull my kid out 20 minutes in because of the sexual references, the innuendos, and the language. They should have really done something to let parents know. And the first comment to her response was, I don't know, maybe an R rating?
Yeah. I've seen that one's been flying around social media. I've seen that on Twitter. I've seen it on Facebook. I've seen it on Instagram too. It's like, it just cracks me the hell up. Want to go ahead and take this one real quick. Tomorrow, Sunday the 21st, Atlanta, Georgia, at the Enclave, 708 Spring Street, Northwest. Good friends of ours at Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment. Tomorrow, Hail to the King. is going to be a great lineup. Georgia Wrestling Crown Champion Jimmy Rave will be defending against A.R. Fox. This will be a genuine Don't Blink match tomorrow. Yeah, talk about Kodak moments, right?
Absolutely. I mean, if I wasn't watching the Great American Race, I would be in Atlanta for that one. A.R. Fox, a student of the WWA 4 Academy with the Total Protection, Mr. Hughes, had the opportunity. Fox was with us at Peachstate 2010 and 11. You could just see something in that guy. The fact he's competed in 0-1, Japan, independents all over the Northeast, and getting a chance now against Jimmy Ray. That is a dream matchup, folks. Check it out.
Three-way dance tag team action tomorrow. Team IOU, Nick, Iggy, and Kerry Awful. The Sound of the Fury, Joe Black, William Huckabee, and the Kraken, or Kraken, depending on how you, and knowing when he gets in the ring, it's normally Kraken. Murder One and Chip Day. So you've got, look, I say this from the heart. For those who have been to an AWE live event, the word explosive is an understatement. To utilize the term combustible elements are in place would be an understatement. If you've ever seen Team IOU, okay, if you have seen Team IOU in the last 6 months, if you have seen The Sound and the Fury, if you've seen Chip Day and Murder One, you know the fact that these are going to be some of the hardest punches, the heaviest hits you will ever see in a tag team pro wrestling match. I've watched The Sound and the Fury. These guys are dynamite. You've got Day and Murder, two great veterans, long form. And you've got Team IOU, one of the most unpredictable tag teams out there. I will sit back and tell you this, even if A.R. Fox and Jimmy Ray wasn't on this card, this match in and of itself would be worth the price of admission. I'm serious. It will get that insane. It will get that violent. And for wrestling fans, it'll be that much fun. Also on the card, there is one match in particular. There it is. I had to find it because I want to give this match its due and give it justice. But even though they don't need me to do it, I'm going to say it anyway. The Chikara Grand Champion, the Princess Kimber Lee, comes back to AWE tomorrow, Sunday, February 21st, to take on adorable Ashton Starr in Roar Division action. I've watched Ashton Starr. This kid's good. This kid will be great as time goes by. All he needs is the recognition. Got a great body of work already. Fun to watch in the ring. Kimberly, international star. Plain and simple. I run out of words sometimes, and I don't put that pause in there to try to think of something new, different, and unique to say, or try to keep from rehashing the same verbiage that I'll normally use. I will just sit back and say this. This will be a Kodak moment match. Like I said, Ashton Starr, you have a bad match against him, get out. Done. Kimber, professionalism personified. This is going to be an excellent match, and there's a lot more to it tomorrow, 21st at the Enclave in Atlanta. Special hello to good friends over at AWE. I wish I could be there. I will see y'all very soon. You have my word on that, guaranteed. Check out AtlantaWrestlingEntertainment.com. Also, at ATL Wrestling ENT over on Twitter. For me personally, I'm also getting geared up Saturday, February the 27th, the JYD Memorial Tag Team Tournament, but we're going to have a lot more on that tomorrow on BR Live, as well as Tuesday on GCW Radio. Shane, shameless plugs real quick.
Oh, check out PeachstateWrestlingAlliance.com for the brackets of the PWA Heritage Title Tournament. Again, kicking off March 5th. We've known it's going to take place for over a month now, but it's time for all entrants to be revealed. Also, your opportunity to order past events of Peach State. Let's say you don't live around Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Mississippi. You can't make the drive or the flight in, but you're still curious about the product we speak of. Check out PeachstateWrestlingAlliance.com. Also, for those of you that maybe enjoy some questionable fun, check me out, Useless Trivia, Tuesday nights at Loco Mex Mexican Restaurant in Jacksonville, Alabama, 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern. Also, actually, Monday nights, also at local Mex. A little earlier start time, 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. Wednesday nights closes out the week on trivia. Mellow Mushroom in Oxford, Alabama, 7 o'clock Central Time. Folks, and I always tell people this when you play trivia, if you don't know a particular question, that's fine. There's 20 on the night.
Yeah, no.
You may know the next one. It's great. And the top 3 teams walk out with house cash. It's a great way to pay for your drinks and your food, and also a little bit of competitive spirit.
At Beyond Ringside on Twitter, Facebook.com/Beyond Ringside Live, and of course, BeyondRingside.com is the home for all things BR. Don't forget on the replays side of son of a gun. Slow down, Eddie. Nope, don't slow down. Just don't think. There is no spoon. There is no promo. Just say it. Facebook.com/Beyond Ringside Live. You heard that part. Beyond Ringside Live is the home for all things. You got it. BeyondRingside.com, that is. And of course, like I said, whether it be on Podomatic, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spreaker, there's more ways to find us on the replay side of damn, I did it again. The replay light of Sife. Son of a bitch. And no, I'm not going to fix that in post. Hell with it. I'm looking at the fact that the Mega Millions lottery is sitting at $114 million. Cash option 75. Drawing is Tuesday night. You know, I really need to win that because I could probably finally pay off my student loan as well as my bar tab. End of discussion.
Not necessarily in that order, right?
Not necessarily in that order. I think I need to pay the bar tab off worse. Who cares? For me personally, at Fast Eddie Layne, Layne on Twitter and Instagram. FastEddieLane.com is my home site. Also, very special thank you once again to everybody who came out to play last night at Buffalo Wild Wings in Alabaster. Always had a great group of singers last night. Tim, Cece, Rick, Jeff, Reagan, Katie, everybody at B-Dubs. Thank you so much for putting up with me. I greatly appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing everybody this coming Friday night. Also, tonight in Trustful, Cahaba Oaks. Looking forward to it. Angel Harrison, thank you for the opportunity. Special shout out to tag team partner Rob Langford. Elvis actually he'll be in Huntsville. He'll be entering the building, and then Elvis will leave the building. Let's take it home. Remember, tomorrow, Beyond Ringside Live, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 Central, and the brand new episode of the Midnight Black Mass with Reverend Dan Wilson will air at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Special thank you to #TrendingNow for coming on board tonight. Best of luck, guys. Ace Haven Charles Zanders, thank you for coming on board. Always a pleasure, and we'll have you back on real soon. For my tag team partner, Shane Noles.
I'll leave you with this. We spoke of Foster Brooks. I will leave you with a quote from Emo Phillips. In high school, I once beat up the bully, and he had 2 broke arms, which is what gave me the courage in the first place.
There you go. I am the Magic City Motor Mouth Fast Eddie Layne saying until next time, join us right here as we all go beyond ringside. But for right now, I'm going to put the bullets back in the box and the gun back in the rack because the shooter's gallery is, for now, closed. Bye for now.